the third worst in the entire league. The Lakers look like legitimate contenders right now, winning 12 of their last 15 games. The Mavericks can hardly field a full roster at the moment. Since Luka's debut in LA, the Lakers are a plus 117 in point differential. In that same time, the Mavericks are a negative 125. Not only did Dallas mortgage their future, they inadvertently sacrificed the present. And to literally add insult to injury, the Mavericks front office and ownership has taken zero accountability for the shoddy decisions they've made throughout all of this. In fact, they've doubled down, insisting Luka was not fit to be the future of their franchise. But the real kicker to all of this is that in the one game that we saw how this team was intended to look, they played great. Even after Anthony Davis went down, Kyrie Irving stepped up and played some of the best basketball of his entire career, averaging 31 and 6 a game and carrying the offensive load for Dallas. But to pull this off, the Mavs had to play Kyrie far more than he ever has. Over the last month and a half, Kyrie played the most minutes per game of any player in the entire league, not out of desire, but out of necessity. The Mavs needed him to play as much as possible in the absence of Luka and then AD. Over that same time span, in the 5 games Kyrie didn't play and in the one he left early due to injury, the Mavericks went 1-5 and lost by an average margin of more than 20 points. It's impossible to know if Kyrie's injury was exacerbated by the excess minutes he was spending on the court. But playing an aging 33-year-old injury-prone point guard more minutes than he's ever played before feels like a catalyst. Losing AD in his first game with the team felt like the worst-case scenario. And then Dallas lost half of their roster, and then they lost the player who was single-handedly keeping them afloat. Which brings us here. And with the Dallas Mavericks team that doesn't share an ounce of DNA with the team that made it to the finals just last season. Now, you hate to see any player get injured regardless of the circumstance. The health of the players takes precedence over everything else that's going on. But the Mavericks specifically cited Luka's health as a major concern and one of the main reasons why they didn't see a future with him. The fact that directly following these statements, the Mavericks have been hit with one of the worst injury plagues we've seen in recent history, while Luka is absolutely obliterating every team he faces on 2 healthy legs, is a level of irony that is almost too strange to even believe. As if the basketball gods are punishing them for the rash and brazen treatment of their former star. A curse. When in reality, this is the result of trading away your best player, swapping him for a player who is often injured, working your remaining best player into the ground, and stumbling into a stretch of bad luck with absolutely no recourse. Right now, the outcry from Mavericks fans is enough to make anyone want to go and protest with them. You know it's bad when Wizards fans are offering you their condolences. To no fault of their own and against their wishes, in mere months, they went from cheering on Luka and Kyrie in the NBA Finals to watching their team dissipate and be reduced to rubble. And yet, despite their disappointment for how all of this has unfolded, Maverick fans are still as steady and passionate as ever, sticking by a franchise that has completely undermined them and their loyalty. But just this past week, the Mavericks offered their fans a token of appreciation, a gift to alleviate the recent betrayal they were put through, by raising ticket prices 8%. Truly a masterclass of basketball mismanagement spearheaded by the worst trade in modern sports history.